Or number three, get existing customers to come back and purchase again. And all of these center around acquiring a new customer, right? And it's like, okay, thank you, Captain Obvious. I need to acquire new customers, right? As many as I can. The number of collectors in art business, and this is the next profound point, represents the base salary to any art business. It's why acquiring new customers is so important. And I've kind of relied on this art collector pyramid to make this all make sense. But it all starts with the transaction, okay? A new customer is acquired. Then you throw in the mix regular and consistent marketing. This is going to bring them back again. Then the customer buys again. And then from there, some percentage buy again and again and again, and those are going to end up turning into collectors. This pyramid in one chart pretty much sums up the entire art business, right? And you realize when you see this, it all starts with a new customer acquired, okay? And it all comes down to how many of those you can acquire. Some small percentage of them are going to turn into collectors. The collectors is the most important part of the business. Now, what's the rub in all of this? There is a rub, okay? Let's say you're out there doing some awesome, amazing marketing. You're showing some beautiful photos. You're doing an in-person show. You've dressed to match your piece and you took a photo. You're showing your process. You've got some awesome coasters with QR codes on them, right? Let's say you do all of that and you attract somebody into your ecosystem, okay? If that person does not purchase at that point, the maths say they're gone. They're distracted, they're out the door, they're watching cat videos, and they're never coming back, okay? The cat's playing tetherball in this case. And so it's very important to understand we need to do everything that we can, okay? We need to set ourselves up to acquire as many new customers as possible. I highlight the fact that it does not matter at what dollar amount you bring the new customer in. The reason I highlight that is because the easiest customer to get is the one that you already have. That has always been the case. That always will be the case. And so if we can work as a company to help you guys achieve the maximum ROI from your marketing efforts, we will get there by making sure you have the proper setup, which I'm going to get into. The better your setup is, and I'm going to get into some of these details, the more customers you acquire, you do that, it becomes a game of pressure over time. You work diligently all year long on your marketing. More and more and more customers come in the door, and more and more of them are going to end up turning into collectors. So I want to introduce you to what I am calling the 10X new customer acquisition framework, okay? This is our goal for all of you guys as customers in 2023 and in the years to follow. Very simple. How does it work? Number one, take the number of new customers you acquired last year. Anyone that purchased any product from you in which you retained the information so that you can market them. Multiply that number by 10. That is your target for 2023. Let's break the math down. You acquired, let's just say 70 customers last year. Okay, amazing. So that's 70 customers in 2022. We're going to multiply it by 10. I want you to acquire 700 customers in 2023. That is a monthly target of 58 and a daily target of 2, rounded up there a little bit. So a daily target of 2, okay. Are you crazy, Patrick? Are you out of your mind? You think I'm going to sell 2 pieces of wall art in a day? And I use the aliens guy because this guy always makes me laugh. And I am dead serious. It is meant to be a lofty goal. That is the whole point of taking these 10X numbers and striving for them. And what I find with this framework, with this way of thinking, is you freak out at first. Okay, two new customers a day, like that's crazy talk. And then you're like, wait, let's just break the problem down so we can solve for it, right? We solve for new customer acquisition with our pricing and our lineup. So I want to get into that. Before I do, one quick update. I'm rocking the podcast again. Many of you are subscribed, some of you are not. It is called the Art Marketing Podcast. It's everywhere podcasts are. Most of you guys listen on Apple Podcasts, so you can get it. It's on Spotify, it's on Overcast. Anywhere you listen, you can find it. And I just did a deep dive on this new customer acquisition strategy, and it's in there. And I realized that, like, attendance on this one today is great, but you guys can't come to every single solitary office hours. And so the podcast is a great way for me to be able to reach you guys without, you being on your schedule, right? Like, not that you have to like come to these sessions every single solitary time. So really good episodes in there. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Totally free, totally awesome. So I want to talk about the pricing and lineup. If our goal is to acquire as many new customers as possible, we have to ensure our pricing in lineup is set up to acquire as many as possible. There are some best practices. And again, if we're going to hit our 10x customer acquisition goal, our lineup needs to be in great shape. So quickly and succinctly, pricing and lineup, some of you guys have seen this, but you need to get this right. You need items priced under $100. You need items priced from $100 to $1,000. You need items priced over $1,000, and you need to have non-wall art as a part of your lineup. Absolutely critical that you get this set up right. When you do, wait, what, why? I give you the budget bell curve, okay? Fundamental principle of art and photography marketing and running a business. I don't care if who's on this call or if it's us, Art Storefronts as a business. Inevitably, we are going to do marketing. We are going to draw people into our ecosystem. Those folks in the ecosystem are going to fall into this budget bell curve. Just how it works. On one end of it, you've got no budget. Then you've got low budget, medium budget, which is where your averages are, your sweet spot. Then you've got the high budget, and then you've got the absolute whales, okay? If we want to acquire as many new customers as possible, we need prices for everyone on the budget bell curve. That is why we have to have the range 0 to 100, 100 to 1,000, 1,000 plus. There are some people that only want to buy the expensive stuff. We all want more of those. There are some people that can only afford the cheap stuff. It does not matter to us. When our goal is to acquire 2 customers a day, we realize that is not going to be possible with only higher end price points. Never going to be the case. If we know that the easiest customer to get is the one that we already have, we have got to cater to this budget bell curve. In addition to that, if we are going to hit the 10x goal, we need prices for the entire curve. I've covered that. Very, very important this, okay? That new customer acquired does not get acquired as many times as it will when you nail this pricing argument. In addition to that, not everybody is ready to buy wall art right now, okay? We all need to come to terms with this fact. And if you're not ready to buy wall art, and somebody comes to your ecosystem and they're like, I really like this artist, I want to reward this artist, I want to purchase something from this artist, but all this artist has is wall art and it's all very expensive, they're gone and they're watching the Cats play tetherball, okay? They're gone and they're not coming back. And so many of you guys are missing out on customers that you could acquire, email addresses that you could acquire because you are missing the lower end price points in your lineup and you are missing the merch in your lineup. I will say it once, say it again, say it a million times. The easiest customer to get is the one that you already have. Also, if you don't have items in your lineup, okay, that represent impulse kind of buys, i.e. a buy that I can make on a whim, a buy that I can make without consulting my significant other, a buy that I can make without having to go and measure my walls and look at your site and everything else, you are going to miss out on a tremendous amount of purchases that take place all day long on Facebook and on Instagram and where we're having you market. When you look at Instagram, we are a diverse bunch on this call, bunch of different likes and interests, ages, different parts of this country, other countries. Yet when we're all on Instagram, do you notice that the vast majority of items that we are shown as ads pending our interest are all lower ticket items for the most part? They're under $100, around $100, slightly over $100. There's a reason for that. Those items qualify as impulse purchases, so we need to have them. We need to have them in our lineups. And I really believe that this Venn diagram sort of represents the sweet spot where the magic happens in terms of new customer acquisition. We get our pricing set up. As mentioned, we are doing consistent and regular marketing, and we have non-wall art as a part of our lineup. We get those all right, and we are going to be acquiring as many customers as we possibly can, right? And Kelly, I don't know if she's on here, she does a great job there in that little picture on the left. There's the whole thing. There's expensive originals, there's prints, there's smaller prints, there's postcards, there's tote bags. Excuse me. Something in there for everyone on that budget bell curve, and she stands a very good chance that if somebody walks into that gallery, they are leaving with something. They are leaving with a credit card receipt, and you are getting their email address. So, if we're gonna 10x your new customer acquisition goal, we next need to get your lineup into shape. All right. So I want to talk about media types. What's up, cousin? Used you for that image. Rob's got the same last name as me. There are 5 main media types, okay? And this is not going to be news to some of you, but it bears repeating. These are the staples that absolutely everybody must have, must be aware of, and must be able to speak about, okay? You need fine art paper. There's some options there we'll get into in a second. You need a canvas. You need a metal. You need acrylic. And you need wood, okay? Why? Why do you need all of those? Number one, why do you need all of them, and why do you have to have them on hand all times, right? I always use the kitchen knife analogy, right? If I asked you to sell knives for me door to door, what would you have in your hand when you knocked on that person's door? Would you have a catalog of a bunch of pictures of knives? No, you would have the actual knives, okay? You artists are blessed with incredible visual powers. You guys can create these things and then visualize them on the wall. Visualize what the product actually looks like. Us, the consumers, do not have these special powers, okay? I don't know why I'm in the way of this. I could get my head out of the way. So you got to have the samples to be able to show them, to be able to articulate the subtle differences. Next, your customers don't know the differences between the media types. A great deal of you guys don't even know the differences between the media types. We are reliant as potential customers for you guys to be the subject matter experts on what it is that you have on offer. Without having samples, you able to show this off, you can't do this. Next, never assume you are smarter than your customer. A great deal of you have very strongly held opinions, okay, about what media types work and which ones you like and which ones you want to show your art on. And that's fine, I understand that. But never think you're smarter than your customers. All of the media types sell. There are certain people that are into certain media types for reasons we can't even begin to understand. And even if you're not going to offer a particular media type, you're like, Patrick, I'm never going to offer wood, I don't like it, you still need a sample of it. You need to be able to show it, talk about it, articulate it, and explain it. And you just might find that someone's like, you know what, I saw a wood print in somebody's house the other day. I really kind of liked it. Do you have those? No. Oh, yeah, of course I do. I don't offer it, but let me show you one. Right? I believe that you should be taking your samples with you everywhere, okay? Going somewhere where you can be selling, having the 5 main media types on hand will lead to more sales and up sales too. If you're going to deliver a piece, you bring your little sample kit with you. You're able to show off the 5 different kinds. Oh, you like that, but you want a different media type? Let me show you what those look like. Somebody wants to talk to you on a Zoom call to get the sale over the line. Having your small kit of samples gives you the ability to show these things on a Zoom call with zero stress or friction. You instantaneously have it. You can articulate what it is. And then, yes, of course, showing them off in live art shows, in-person shows. They're just great to have. You are the subject matter expert, okay? So it's very, very important to have them all. What I want to do next is the good news, okay, with samples and having the 5 main media types is you can get this set up very easily and they can be very, very small. I learned this the hard way and I've since rectified my mistakes because I've practiced this so much merchandising and showing off art in today's cell phone, Zoom, Facebook, live art show world, okay? The pieces can and need to be small. And I'm not talking about your entire lineup and everything you're selling. I'm talking about just the samples so that you can be highlighting things. So what I want to do is I want to talk briefly about the media type videos that I created for you guys, and this is a while back. They're in all the tooltips on all your websites, okay? So I want to go through those briefly, and then I'll do a live show and tell, right? And you know, probably 2 years ago now, Nick came to me and he's like, hey, we need like a really, really good tooltip for all the Art Storefront's customer sites so that when people come to their website, they know the subtle differences between what this looks like. And so we went to the best online in terms of prints that has the best website that does the best job articulating it is BayPhoto. They're way better than anyone else is at doing it. So we're like, okay, we're going to go and grab the BayPhoto videos. We're going to extrapolate the best out of what those look like, right? And then we are going to go ahead and create our own. So this is what is on every single solitary tooltip for all of your websites. And do you notice something about these? They're very, very small. You want to know why they're very, very small? Because it's very, very difficult to make professional videos with giant, huge pieces, especially when they're stacked like this. So we made these individual ones that talk about the subtle differences between each of the 5 media types. It's on all of your websites. And by the way, if anybody wants these videos in high resolution, we've got them for you. I don't know if we've ever made that available as a download. Taylor, will you just make a note? I will put all of these things in a Dropbox, and if anybody wants to download and have them, to use in their marketing materials, they can do that. So these are the 5 types, and now you can see we're into metal, right? And already, when it's full screen on a presentation, in a video, you can start to see the subtle little differences and what are great about each and be able to show off each, right? Here's acrylic, which the margins are phenomenal on, which you can charge an incredibly high price on. You can get away with crazy markups on these, and they're absolutely beautiful. I'll show them in real time in just a second. And then we finish up with the wood, okay? So what I want to do is I put together a little bit of a, call it makeshift setup in my office here, okay? This is the first time I've done this. No judging, please, no judging, all right? It's the best I could do given the circumstances. So what I want to do is I just want to briefly show off these 5 media types and then talk about what a sample stack can and should look like. Hi, Mom. So this is my little desktop setup, makeshift a little bit, yes. But we've got our fine art paper print, right? In a black frame, small, you can show off the black frame. You can show that it's ready to hang. You can see that it's got glass behind it. Sometimes photographers like doing glass on this. Usually the artists go for the textured fine art paper. So there it is, fine art paper. Okay. Next up, you've got canvas, right? And you see how small it is. I mean, you can see what size my hand is on top of it. Still beautiful, still edge to edge. You can show that it's ready to hang on the background. Oh, you like canvas? Yeah, so let me explain what's awesome about canvas. You can zoom into it and show the incredible detail. I need to get a little bit better at this immediately. Sorry for making you guys seasick. But you need to be able to show canvas. Next up, we've got metal. Same image, Positano, but you're able to show the subtle differences of metal and how the light reflects off of it and how it's ready to hang. And you can even potentially sign the back, right, and write a special note. So there's metal. Next is acrylic. I'm telling you, acrylic is amazing. There is no one that doesn't see this in person that doesn't go absolutely nuts. I mean, it's amazing. Incredible for bathrooms like the metal because you can get as much water on top of these things as you want in the form of condensation, and there's no problem. Sorry for my lights. Beautiful thickness on the side, ready to hang. Not only that, your order will come with your framing hooks. And then the final is wood, right? Wood is really, really cool on some art. There's some people that really, really dig wood. It's rustic. It's thick. It hangs nicely on the wall. Now, what I want to show is a final, and hold on, I got to grab the entire stack. Do you see? That's it. That's all of them. Now I have all 5 in a tiny little size that makes a little pile that I can go absolutely anywhere with, that I can show absolutely anyone, that I can be the subject matter expert on at any point in time, right? Good to go, compact. You can walk into somebody's house with this. You can figure out a way to carry them around. These are the knives that you knock on the door with. You always need to be able to explain, to articulate what are the subtle differences, why they're awesome, and then be able to put one in your customer's hot little hands and let them see them if you're in person. So that's the entire stack. All right, back to my Prezi. And I should say, like, people are like, well, Patrick, why are you so excited about Copilot? I go back to these things, like even just getting these things made. Okay, these videos made was a huge journey. We had to go and rent a studio, and then the studio wouldn't let us bang holes in the wall. And so then the studio was too expensive. Then I hired a drywall guy to drywall my garage, and I just paid a local guy to do it. And it was really, really hard, and there was like a decent investment made in the process of going these videos. So why I love Copilot is because there's already 500 of you guys on it, right? I'm hoping at some point in time there's going to be 90% of our customer base on it. When that happens, Art Storefronts is going to be significantly incentivized to start putting levels of production that no one has ever seen before. I mean, we are going to be hiring professional still life photographers and videographers, and we are going to start making video assets that explain all of these things and merchandise all of these things and make you guys look more professional than you've ever seen before. There are some incredible advancements going on with AI now, where when we get incredible still life shot, we're going to be able to automatically put your work onto the still life, and your presentation game is going to level up so significantly. So I'm really, really excited about where that's going and what we're going to be able to do in terms of these incredible things that we're going to be creating for you. All right. Next, I want to talk about merch types. And again, this thing is terrifying to customers daily. Absolutely terrifying. And it is even more terrifying if you do not have non-wall art in the lineup, okay? This becomes a very achievable number, especially for you guys that are doing the local shows and fairs, because at one local show and fair, you could potentially sell 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 things, okay? It's very, very important to see this. And I've seen it, okay? And this is where the merch solves, right? It's like it will help you get to this 2 customers per day number. It'll get you there so much quicker. And, the big picture thing about merch that, like, everyone loves to get hung up on, it doesn't matter what it is. We have some recommendations about what our favorite ones are. Quite frankly, though, it doesn't matter. It could be anything. Some of you guys are hand-painting wooden spoons. I love it. Everything that we offer is the best that we can come up with. It is POD, where you don't have to have any minimums, no order minimum, no inventory in anything, and boom, it just comes through, right? So what happens in the real world, all right? When somebody comes to your site and they're not ready to buy wall art, is they leave. When you have the merch, these people that come to your site, they're not going anywhere. They're like, I'm going to reward this person. I'm going to make an impulse purchase. I am going to buy something from you. And I see it time and time again. There's been enough time in enough years with some of our customers that are doing significantly better than everyone else is, and they all have one thing in common. They have these price points under $100, and they are acquiring significantly more customers than everyone else is. And I get so infuriated when everyone gives me the line like, oh, this merch, this tchotchke stuff, I don't want to sell it. There is not a museum in the world that doesn't have a gift shop. Why do you think that is? If Van Gogh can be hanging on the wall and the damn museum can have the gift shop, all of you guys can have this stuff in your lineup. It is a way for you to get your creations into people's hands. So I'm going to go back to my little video show and tell, and I'm going to talk about a few of them briefly, and then I want to get into the customer examples of people that are absolutely rocking this right now in terms of their marketing that I'm very pleased with. Now, what is my button? And in no particular order. The throw pillows, I'm telling you, are cool. You have to figure out ways to get creative with these guys. We have one artist, Bill Stidham, that did a Santa Claus one and sold hundreds of them. So it doesn't necessarily need to be your real art. It could be something themed. It could be something sporting related. It could be something fun. But these things actually look kind of cool, and they print out pretty nice. Star of the show for sure, though, tote bags, okay? There is not a reason. There are a million reasons why somebody would want, somebody would need, somebody could get regular use out of the tote bags. It's one of our best-selling merchandise items. The artwork I find to be look fantastic on it. I live in a state where the government will not let me get a shopping bag without paying 10 cents, and so you can offer them like that. I'll have some incredible customer examples about this in just a minute. Everybody's going to drink coffee every day. Everybody's going to drink tea. Everybody needs a pencil cup, okay? These little things seem small, and it's like, these little small merch items, but I'm telling you, you need to open yourselves up for impulse buys, okay? When you do, they're going to be drinking their coffee or having their office cups or their office pens and pencils in this thing, or maybe it's on a shelf somewhere every single solitary day looking at your art. You are going to remain top of mind all year long, such when these folks actually do want to buy a piece of wall art, you're the one that they're going to go to. Even the cell phone cases, they look good. I can't tell this thing's focusing correctly or not. My setup's a little janky. But even the cell phone cases look great. The point with the merch big picture, it does not matter which ones you choose, okay? The only thing that matters is that you get it going on, you hit that price point, and you have some impulse buy types of items that you can start leveraging in your marketing, that we can start recommending you leverage in your marketing. And you can't do it with a picture. You need the thing in your hot little hand. Let's get into some customer examples, some people that I think that are absolutely rocking it at this, that will serve as some good inspiration about ways that you can potentially package things. And this was no easy task, you guys, because and this part infuriates me, and I'm infuriated at myself. I take this personally responsible, or I take the responsibility here. But this was really, really hard to put together because so few of you are actually doing this on a regular basis. And that makes me happy because of the incredible opportunity we have in front of ourselves here. So let's look at some great examples, people that I think are absolutely rocking this. So this is Candace Seslow is her last name. And she's got a very beachy, ocean-inspired small print, so she's totally on brand. Then she gets her dog, puts her dog in the bag. Then she's got a photo of herself on the beach with the dog. And, you know, this one right next to the water, like, this is such a killer impulse buy. This is such an amazing way for me as a consumer to say, you artist, I really like what you're doing. I really like your creativity. I want it in my life, but I'm not ready for wall art right now. So I think she does an incredible job in the little boxes there are their Instagram handles. So if you want to go and follow those folks, you can. But I think she does an incredible job, is on brand, and they're looking absolutely great. So, and I love the dog in there. So shout out to you on this one, Candace. I think we're staying on the dog theme for a second. I think Allison Cantrell does a great job at this. She's got this pet portraits business that she calls Bunny Pigs, and you know, look at the pillow. Who doesn't want that beautiful dog on the pillow on the couch, right? That looks absolutely phenomenal. And especially like, you know, just kitschy, low end, low commitment, easy purchase, right? She's even gone to the lengths of getting creative and grabbing some creative statements and throwing them next to her artwork, right? You see that on the bottom? This better not be decaf, right? With the upset dog. She's doing a phenomenal job at it. So you see, like when it goes together like this, and it all looks together, and you know this image down here on the left, right? These are the types of things that we are going to start going nuts on for you guys. I am going to get the best damn product photographers that exist on this planet to make the coolest looking mock-ups for you, and your guys' images are going to be able to go right on the damn cup just like that, and no one will even know the difference. So I cannot wait. We are all going to get so good at doing this year. It is going to be crazy. I think. Love Think Play. So this is Ashley King. Also a fantastic job, right? There she is in her booth. She's got the art. She's got the bags. There it is next to her art. The pillow's there. And then she's even sneaking in a subtle little morning. Here's my morning coffee. Oh, by the way, do you know I have these mugs for sale? So I thought she did a great job here. Also, this one, Alan. Alan, you are my spirit animal of marketing, my friend. Your slide on the next one is absolutely fantastic. But he's holding the bags. He's showing the bags in real time. He's got the decorative pillow on a bookshelf somewhere. Look at how cool it can be there. He's showing the tote bag and the cup together, and then he's showing his rack of tote bags. This one here, this was so good, Alan. You got an entire slide, brother, okay? I can't believe how cool this looks. So you're telling me you guys that are on brand could stack up like 6 of these or 10 of these or 8 of these or whatever it is, take one photo and then sell one bundled set? By the way, these make incredible gifts. You can give them to friends. You can have multiple in your car. Here is the entire tote bag package for da-da-da-da. Right? Like, we need to start getting more creative with our bundles on these things. We need to get more creative at showing them. This is a low commitment item that when I saw it like this, I almost fell out of my chair. That was so cool. These prints look insane. They look amazing. And you should follow him because he's got some ones where he's holding his Mercedes one next to a Mercedes, right? And he's like making the connection like, hey, you love Mercedes? Get a Mercedes tote bag. And here's a real photo of the Mercedes because you can see he's got some card ones. So I thought this was so creative. Like, we should all bite this style. Next up, Hava does a great job as well. She's been at this for quite some time, but I love all of the images all stacked up. You've got greeting cards there. You've got the cup. She's holding it in a photo, art in the background. She's got a friend or a customer holding one saying, you know, look at this. There's the pillow sitting there. This is what the bags look like in their native environment. Got a little urban jungalo going on there, which I enjoy. So she's doing a great job at it as well. We need 100% of you guys to have these doggone samples on hand, okay? There's a whole bunch of reasons for this, but we are going to be getting incredibly, incredibly aggressive and creative with your marketing. This daily target is not out of reach. For those of you guys that don't necessarily like the lower ticket items, it is all just maths, okay? It is all just maths. The folks that are acquiring the most new customers all up and down that lineup range and all up and down that pricing range are the ones whose business is growing the fastest, are the ones who's building the collector list the fastest, right? Like, we need to be equipped this year to be running sales, to be running flash sales, to be running live art shows, special promos, giveaways, whether you're on Copilot or not. I need you guys to be able to generate the media and immediately post it to your social networks, in emails, on your Facebook page, etc., showing what these things look like, being able to talk about them, being able to articulate them. And if we get this right, we're going to be in a place where you're acquiring those customers. If we get it wrong, cat videos, right? They're distracted, they're gone. And it's why this merch and this sub-$100 stuff is so important. It is just a game of maths, okay? It doesn't even matter what it is. We've got great merch. It's self-fulfill, awesome. Some of you guys use different partners. Some of you hand paint the wooden spoons. It doesn't matter what it is. You got to do you and have your own level of integrity, but you can make it awesome, right? You can make it awesome. And a final point on merch, okay? And I will come clean right now, okay? Early on, I recommended the company didn't do it. I was like, that cheap craft sucks. Don't do it. It's lame. It's stupid. Stop it, right? I came around 180 degrees because I looked at the data and I saw what was going on, okay? I am a hardcore digital marketing super freak, okay? I've been doing this for a long time. I work so hard to try and get people's attention in a digital framework, in a digital capacity. I'm at it all the time. But guess what? I can only get your attention when you're on your cell phone or when you're on your computer. That's it. That's the only shot that I have to get my product, to try and get art storefronts on your radar. Understand what merch represents. You know what merch is? Merch is a Facebook ad that goes where Facebook ads can't. Somebody bought this pillow, right? And they threw it on a chair. And it sat there for 2 years. They weren't ready to buy wall art. They were ready to reward your creativity because they were bonded to you as an artist, and that pillow sat in that chair for 2 years. That is like a Facebook ad. I could never get an email there. I could never get an Instagram post on that chair. I could never get a Facebook ad on that chair. The only thing that gets on that chair is that pillow. And as a result of that pillow being on that chair for the next whatever year, months, years to come, I am now thinking about you and your art every single solitary day. Are you going to make a lot of money selling that pillow? No, you are not. But do you know what it is? It's a Facebook ad that can't go where Facebook ads can go, where only Facebook ads can't go. It is a phenomenal marketing play. And it keeps you top of mind that when this person is ready to buy wall art, the first person that they are going to come to is you, okay? Their cat might be sitting on top of it, right? It is not going to steal their attention. So very, very important. I have so come around 180 degrees on how powerful the merch can be in your overall marketing stack. It will blow your mind once it happens. When you have these inexpensive items, people purchase because they love you and they love your creativity. It keeps you top of mind for when they're ready to buy the wall art, the big purchase, hello, $8,000 sale. That's how it works in the real world. So how can we make this as easy as possible for you guys? So some of that stuff in there was inside baseball. I'm going to appear here. There we go. Inside baseball that you wouldn't understand. But, you know, the biggest takeaway that I've had from doing this for like a number of years now at art storefronts is, again, I have access to everyone's data, both what sources they're using to sell their art, as well as who's making the most money, who's selling the most, whose business is growing the fastest. And, you know, over the course of years, you always get like, you know, you always get this feedback, you know, how important collectors are, right? And like, you know, what collectors represent to artists and how their business will grow if they have collectors. And you're like, okay, that makes a ton of sense, but it takes like really, really seeing the data, you know? And like one of the big things that we've done is teach our customers how to run live art shows. And we have this like whole playbook with the live art show where quickly, like, you're going to release a new series of work, right? You're going to release it to the public on a Wednesday. On Monday, you schedule a Zoom session for all of your collectors, and they can all see the work before the public can, right? And some of our most successful customers, like between 30, 40, 50, 60%. Thank you, whoever just said that. I really appreciate it, Christopher. I was sitting there going on a whole rant. I'm like, why can't anyone hear me? All right, let me wind back to the backwards. It's Monday. I'm moving a little slow. My biggest takeaway in the whole thing is like I've been doing this for a number of years now. We have a little bit over 8,500 customers. We study like our most successful ones, and we got to study that data very, very intently, right? Like who is doing the best? Why are they doing the best? What are they doing that's different than everyone else? And this notion of how important a collector is to an artist or a photographer cannot be understated. It is just a tremendous, tremendous thing. And early on, you know, like when did this book come out? God, I don't even know now. 10 years ago now, maybe. 2016, so it wasn't 10 years ago. Very, very good book. I think everyone should buy it. You can't buy it on Amazon, annoyingly. Weiland, he's the whale guy. He sells it on his site directly. But he talks about the importance of a collector list. And early on, I didn't have enough data to make my own conclusions because we hadn't been at it for long enough. But I heard what he had to say about it. Weiland's arguably one of the top 5, most people would say #1 best-selling artist in the United States, certainly in terms of volume because he's got all of his galleries and everything that he has going on. He highlighted the importance of collectors. Since like years and years and years, some of my best customers are continuing to outstrip everyone else and outpace everyone else. And the reason is because they are acquiring more new customers at any price, it doesn't matter where. They are marketing to those folks consistently. And as a result of it being a volume game, more of these people are coming in and they're becoming collectors. And no one teaches this, right? Like the easiest customer to get is the one that you already have. That is just settled science and fact. And when you realize that, you realize it doesn't matter what price point, what item I acquire the customer on. Okay. Selling wall art all the time is really, really difficult. Not everybody is in the market to get wall art all the time. You know, like the analogy that I like to give is like, it's sort of like when you're in the market for a mattress, right? When our backs start hurting, the bed is too soft, or we just need a new one or whatever. We're switched on at that point. We know everything there is to know about mattresses. We've been Googling them. We've been to the local shops, right? We're seeing what they cost. We are very, very intent to understand what's going on in the mattress world. Then we go and buy the new bed. The new one comes. They drag that heavy one out. And then we don't really know what the hell's going on in the mattress world. I'm not switched into the sales. I'm not listening to the commercials. I'm not driving by the stores. I'm gone. And that's kind of how wall art functions sometimes. And so when you don't have the non-wall art related items and you don't have prices that cater to that entire demand curve, you are never going to acquire as many customers as you could. Period. End of sentence. And the people that are like, I'm not going to sell anything else than wall art. I'm a fine artist. Look, I get it. I respect that. Go your own way, and I wish you the best. What I'm telling you is there are mass that fundamentally underpin this business. And if you have those products and you have all the price points covered, more people are going to purchase from you. You are going to have more people that you can market to. More of them are going to come back and become collectors, and the collectors represent the base salary. I watch some of my most successful customers. They will run live art shows. It's like a thing that we're big on. We've done a bunch of tactical on it and how to do it. Basically, you're coming out, think of like a gallery show, right? You're coming out with a new collection of pieces. Think of a gallery show. Don't even think of the live art show. And the gallery is going to open, the gallery is going to have an opening night session on Wednesday. You let all your collectors in on Monday. Your collectors go in and they buy up like 30 or 40 or 50% of the thing, right? And they're putting stickers on all the things. Then you let the general public in, and the general public's like, what the hell's going on here? Half of this thing's already sold out. I'm here opening night. What happened, right? That's how the galleries have done it forever. But the point is, I see my most successful customers sell 30, 40, 50, 60% of what they create because they have these healthy collector lists. And they're the ones that are making more money than anyone else. And they're the ones whose business is growing faster and faster and faster year in and year out. So I get very, very fired up about this particular topic. No one's teaching it. No one's talking about it. Everyone likes to get hung up on all the nonsense. And it's just maths. Number of new customers acquired. That's it. stretch that out with consistent marketing, and it's a game of pressure over time. So it's a lot of what we teach. It's a lot of what we market on. We teach our customers to market on, all of those various different things. Daniel's asking, like, what can I see? Where can I see these things? We are, there's a number of different people out there that make them, right? I don't think anyone is necessarily all that much better than any of the rest of them. We use a company called Gooten. It's Gooten. You can Google it. You can see all the stuff that they have. The reason that we use Gooten is because they have the most robust POD platform. POD is print on demand, which means you don't have to have any inventory. There are no minimums. You could get one order, 10,000 orders. It's all the same to them. They all get printed. They all get shipped, and that's that. So it's an incredible thing to have as an artist. But like I said, some people do calendars, some people hand paint the wooden spoon, some people do stickers, some people do greeting cards, the cell phone cases. I could care less what it is. It doesn't even matter. It's opening yourself up to acquire customers. It's having products that people can make impulse decisions on when they see you on Instagram and Facebook. And then you do regular marketing. 3 years pass. Some guy that you sold a coffee mug to comes back and buys $10,000 worth of wall art. And that's how it happens in the real world. And I continually see it again and again and again, because I will look at some of these big orders my customers get, and then I will go and track down where the heck they acquired the person in the analytics, and I'll see 3 years ago on some small purchase for like $39. And so when you don't have this going on, you are making it significantly more difficult on yourself to eventually get a business that has enough collectors to sustain a base salary that you can be happy about. So I get really, really fired up about that. But enough of my ranting. Let's open it up to Q&A. If you are, how do we do that? If you're one of the brave ones that has your camera on and you have a question, all you have to do is raise your hand, and then I will answer it. For everybody else, if you look at the bottom of your Zoom window, you see there's this little smiley face thing that says reactions with a plus on it. You can click that, and there's a way to raise hand. That lets me know you have a question, and then I can unmute you. You certainly do not need to turn your camera on if you don't want to turn your camera on. I hate being on video, so I totally understand that. And then I can just move through the questions one at a time. And, I would say the samples, too, just as a final, are so, so important. And so few of you guys even have samples or even can articulate the differences between the various different media types. And, your customers don't know. They don't know the differences. We are naive, us normal customers. We want you to be the subject matter experts and be able to explain to us, right? And, there's so many of you that would be, your business will significantly grow if you have a little stack of samples like that and you could explain things. Like, people go and, our customers go and individually hang their originals a lot of times. And it's like, you bring that little sample sack with you and you articulate the differences between the different media types, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, I'm going to get a couple more. There's just so many places where it just works. But anyway, enough with me ranting. Need some hands up, need some questions. Who wants to go first? Who wants to be brave today? Just takes one. Everyone's like, I'm not going, you go. It can literally be anything about anything in terms of questions. And I'll get into the chat too, but I usually like to prioritize the live and in-person questions. And again, you can use the little, the little reaction smiley face and raise your hand. See, Kimberly, that's what I'm talking about. Somebody had to go first. I appreciate you being brave. Go ahead, Kimberly. And you'll need to unmute. I'll let you know when you get it. Gotcha.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'll be the first one, but the quick question I had, because you said it so fast, was the companies that handle the POD, print on demand. What was that again?
Yeah, so the one we use is Gooten, Gooten, and you can Google them. They're huge. They're massive. But there's other ones out there, right? Like, Redbubble is one, and I know there's some other ones individually. We make it very easy for our customers to integrate. If you don't sign up, I still want you doing this. So you kind of just need to find one that works for you, right? And where you're happy with the quality of the product and such. But I'm really partial to those tote bags because I think everyone can use them. They're really cool for what they are. Everyone can appreciate them. They're small. They're easy to store somewhere. You can give them away as gifts. So Super Pro tote bags is one of our best selling ones for sure. But yeah, that's how you found it. Okay, I think you muted again, so you got it. Next up is end user. Obviously, I don't know what your name is because it says end user, but end user, if you just hit the mic icon. Yep, gotcha. Oh, boo. So you're unmuted, but I can't hear you. That usually means you have the wrong audio source selected. there's a little, if you're on a computer, it looks like you're on a computer. There's like this little up arrow thing next to the microphone. It's small. I can't show it because it won't show on my screen share. But if you click on that, it gives you the ability to like switch your audio source. So I would play around with that. I'll leave you unmuted. If I can hear you, great. If not, you can come back in and throw your question in the chat. That's what I would say. But who else, guys? Questions about anything involved in the rant? Anything else? You know, it's so funny because I've been doing this for years and years and years, and you know, that whole little sample pack and like the merge pack, like we put this special deal together so all of our customers would end up getting it all, because even some of my customers that have been with me for like 2 or 3 years did not have the samples, right? And did not have them on hand. And we're not able to speak about the subtle differences and nuances of like one media type versus the other, right? Which was really, really interesting. Okay, Valerie, you're up. Are you there, Valerie? And you'll need to unmute, mic icon.
Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Oh, I'm just curious. Is it important to have a logo or
no,
something like that?
No. I mean, we want you to get one, right? And we would prefer you have one, but it's not enough to prevent you from getting started. You can get one like a month after you get going, right? Or 6 months after you get going. The issue is that I see time and time again is I'll just get started when, right? And then you can insert whatever you want in the blank. I'll just get started when I know what my niche is. I'll just get started when I have a logo. I'll just get started when I figure out international shipping rates. I'll just get started when I have 10 pieces. And then what ends up happening is the artist or photographer in question never gets started, never does anything, never does any marketing, doesn't get the work in front of anyone's eyes. And the hours turn into days, turn into weeks, turn into months, and no forward steps, no forward progress has been made in the business. So I'm usually like a broken record on those types of questions. But yeah, the logo is very unimportant.
But eventually.
Yeah, eventually you should go in for sure.
Okay.
But it's really inexpensive in today's day and age to be able to get a good quality logo. Graphic designers, when I say that, get really upset. But, you know, you guys are in the business of minimalism, meaning can you think of a single solitary art gallery where you actually know what the logo looks like? Not sure that I can. And that's by design, right? Because you don't want anything stealing the attention, stealing the thunder of the beautiful art itself.
Good point.
Very good point. That's why so many artists and photographers screw up their websites, right? Like every once in a while, for all the people that sign up on the site, all you know, myself, members of my team will kind of like do some forensics, and so we'll grab like 150 people that signed up for our email list, and then we take your email address and throw it in software, and it comes back and it gives us your social media, and then we look at your social media and we go to your websites. And artists and photographers are some of they blow this so bad it's like mind-boggling. And you think in your mind's eye, like, I have these really firm ideals about layout and composition and color and how things look. And so I'm going to make sure that my website reflects this incredible vision and artistic vision that I have. And so I look at some of these websites and colors and goofy fonts and moving things and sliding around in various different videos and all of this stuff. And I mean, I feel terrible because no one needs to reinvent the wheel, okay? There is a paradigm here that has worked for centuries and centuries and millennia, and nobody should be violating it. Where is the best place to view art or photography? You could say it's in an art gallery. That's where most people know about buying. Or you could say it's in a museum. That's where most people see the masters. Do you notice how both of those venues look identical at the end of the day? What do you notice about both of them? Complete white walls, some lights, and nothing else. Nothing else. Everything else should fade to the background. The only thing people should see is the work, right? So people always ask, like, can I see some website examples? Like, what do your websites look like? I'll tell you what they look like. 95% of them are white and minimalist. 5% people like to do like the dark colors occasionally. I understand it if you're into spectral photography or whatever. But the point is, you're not reinventing the wheel. Your website should be as close to the experience when you walk into an art gallery or a museum as possible, and that's how you win. And so that's where I can get back to the logo thing a little bit. But it was a good question for sure, Valerie.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right, end user's hand is still up. I'll try you again, end user. On unmuting you. And then I see your comment, Bonnie, and I'm not totally sure. Any recommendations on mock-ups? Yeah, mock-ups are like an important part of art marketing, but it's not the whole part, right? Like we use mock-ups for sure to, when I say mock-ups, like, your art, high-end decor scene, an office or a bedroom or a living room, right? And then your art on the wall, where you do that digitally. They're important and we use them. But I also really, really like, the artist in question holding the art up and doing their thing, right? So also very, very important. But yeah, there's about a bajillion apps out there that do the mockups. Just don't only use mockups. Some mockups, some you're smiling face, holding the thing up, right, and being able to show it and articulate the differences. Very, very important thing at play here. But okay, what else, guys? Questions? Diane and Vicky are, I think, asking questions about pricing. I can get into that. We have a couple of different plans, and we have a couple of different options, and we have 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 7 year. There's even 10-year deals, and so there's variance in our pricing. But the easiest way to think about what we do, we are part technology solution, and yes, that's the website. Yes, that's the back-end database. Yes, that's the emailing. Yes, it's the print-on-demand integration and everything that goes along with the technology. That's part of what we do. The other part of what we do is we're really, we're a postgraduate university that just teaches art and photography, business, and creative marketing, and it's literally like being in college. Most of our customers would say it feels like being in college. You get absolutely overwhelmed with things right out of the gates, and it's a crazy amount of marketing. So that's what I would say. Go ahead, Valerie, and I'll get another pricing in a second.
Is this a way to expose yourself to, say, a greeting card company that would buy in volume, or a store that might buy in volume?
No, I mean, not really. And not really, when I say not really, those deals are so few and far between in today's day and age. It's crazy. And the way that you get those deals, they do happen still. But the way that you get those deals is not by trying to be laser focused on just trying to close that type of a sale. You get those deals just by doing good and creative marketing, and things come to you as a result of that good and creative marketing. There's a serendipity that happens in that marketing. I'll give you an example, Valerie, that I think is pretty telling. We have a private Facebook group internally, and it's called Small Wins, and we often encourage our customers to post their small wins in there in that. So a gal posts a thing in there about how she closed a $32,000 sale to an interior decorator. She was over the moon, so excited about it. And then immediately everyone starts asking how'd you do it? How'd you do it? Right? How can I find interior decorators like that? And everyone's like, was it an Instagram ad or a Facebook post, or was it an email, or did you, and she goes, no, the interior designer's daughter liked my art, was following me for a year and a half, showed her mom, and her mom sent me a direct message on Instagram, right? And that's how it happens in the real world, in my experience. It's not as a result of I'm just going to target interior designers. It's okay, yeah, good. Go target interior designers. Interior designers get hit up by artists all day long, every day. And so they have no interest in responding to emails or going through it. It takes a long time to build connections. So it's better to just not stress about any of those laser focused marketing initiatives. Instead, just do a great job on building your following. And when you do regular and consistent marketing, and you occasionally do some in-person shows, there's some serendipity that happens as a result of all of that. And that's usually what translates into those types of deals.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right, John, you're up next. Go ahead, John.
I am not an artist, but I am an art collector.
Okay.
And I promote a couple of artists.
Okay.
I would like to know, what do you think I should do within your system to get their artwork out to a ever expanding audience. The two artists that I do promote, their artwork sell between $500 and $10,000. One of them, his artwork is it's actually black sci-fi on acrylic panels.
Okay.
You paint on the back of the panels. You actually look through the acrylic to see the pictures.
Yep.
Everything is done in reverse. The other artist, he paints a little bit of everything. He do oil paintings and acrylic and mixed media.
So nothing changes, right? Like nothing changes in the way that you market or what you go about it. Like, you know, you saying that you want to help promote these guys is essentially you saying you're the art gallery, right? Like I'm the art gallery. It's now incumbent upon me to help these guys promote. Like, you know, if you're going to get into that type of relationship, I would say firm up the relationship and then work on the basic tenets of social media marketing and helping them to do in-person shows and helping them to gather leads and regularly sending emails and going over to their house and filming them doing their process, right? And occasionally running live art shows. It's like there's not any one secret trick or hack or the like of it, right? It's just regular and consistent marketing, leveraging the platforms. You know, Instagram being the primary and Facebook being the secondary, which are the biggest, most important ones out there today.
Okay, but if we want to go through your program, what do you think would be the best way to start?
Well, it'd be hard. I think you personally need to figure out if you're going to be the one doing all the grinding on these guys' behalfs, right, or these gals' behalfs, depending on who they are. And if that's going to be the case, you know, you got to sort what, I mean, are you the art gallery or not, right? Like if you're the art gallery, then, you know, better firm up whatever your deal is with them, because it's, you know, it's a ton of work. It's not going to happen overnight. You know, you're going to have to be grinding at it for a couple of years, regularly and consistently, week in, week out. You do that, that's what moves mountains, right? So if that's something that you're willing to do for them, you know, figure that bit out on how that would all look. And then you could certainly, you know, leverage our platform to do it. You could certainly use our software to be a gallery and put all of their art in it. But you know, it's complicated, John. You got to sort those things first. You know what I mean?
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. You know, it's hard. It's the hard thing about hard things, as I like to say sometimes. A guy wrote a book that way, but you know, very, very few do I see artists like get into a long-term relationship with someone that is doing all the promotion for them that ends up working out long-term. Like, you know, it's a constant like washout in between because it's a grind. Like you have to go day in, day out, help them to get better and help them to market. And, you know, what you no doubt found is like none of them want to market. None of them want to market consistently. They want someone to just take care of all the rest of it. They just want to create, which is every single solitary person on this Zoom call, which is every one of my customers, right? But that's why the marketing is like such an important part, right? It's like, you know, another way of saying it, like the one thing that nobody wants to do is the highest leverage thing, right? But you know, it takes a bunch of work, and you have to learn how to do that. You have to grow their social following and run sales and capture emails. I mean, it's essentially what we teach all year long. And that's how art businesses are grown, right? That's like what actually moves the needle in today's day and age and changes things. So it's a really interesting world that we live in currently. You know, there's a lot of people that are like, I don't like social media. I don't want to post on, you know, what I had for lunch today. That's ridiculous. I'm not good at it. And I totally get all of that, right? But you have to be contrarian about it. Like we're all just fishermen. And if we're all just fishermen trying to catch the fish, we have to show up at the harbor in the morning, get on the boat, and drive the boat to where the fish are. The fish are on Instagram and Facebook. They just are right now. That is how you acquire a large audience, at least in a digital capacity. So you have to get good at that stuff. That's just sort of the long and the short of it. But that's why my rant about the pricing and having the lineup is so important, because if you don't have the products that are perfect for those platforms, you're never going to be able to acquire customers in any substantial clip. And if you don't do that, then the business doesn't grow. You know, you're stuck grinding your wheels. So, good question though. I appreciate it, and good on you for representing those folks. Go ahead, James.
So on these sample packs you were talking about earlier, is that something that is like ordered on the back end of the website?
Dude, it has been. Are you a customer?
No, not
No.
yet.
Yeah,
I'm,
okay. Yeah, I mean, it is, but it's been like such a frustration to get my customers to do it. Ordinarily, I mean, what we do is really, really complicated. What our software does, right? Like all of these various different media types and all these various different merge types and how to do the images and everything else. And so, what we did after that presentation is we just said, just send us an email and we will put the order in for you. The whole order, by the way, is like depending on shipping and all of you guys have different aspect ratios. Hold on, I want to grab this stack. I want to explain this. Like maybe you don't have square images in your lineup, or you do, right? Or maybe you have like a bunch of vertical ones and not horizontal ones. But this entire stack with the 3 merch types, we're getting the whole order through, and it costs like $250 shipped for all of it. So all 5 media types, in this small stack where you can show things off, and the 3 different merch types, which I think we did pillows and the coffee mugs and what is the other one? The tote bag. So it's a whole different ball game when you have that stuff, and you're able to show it off in your social and everything else. So yes, we will put it long, short. There, James, is just send me, if you want to send me an email and I'll let you put one in if you want. I don't care. It's not like we make any money on it. I just want everyone to have the samples and to be able to show it off. Or if you're going to end up becoming a customer, they'll do that. They'll do that for you on, on the onboarding call or whatever. Because I need all of my customers to have it, right? Like I need all of you guys to be able to show it off at all times. It is so fundamental to like modern marketing, and everyone's like, oh well, I have a bunch of these things, and they're I don't need to get yours or whatever, right? And the point is like when you've been doing this for any period of time, you realize if you don't have the little tiny ones, it's really, really hard to show them off on social media, right? And in the presentation I was showing, I'm trying to find her on Instagram right now so I can see. Where is she? Hello, Kando. That was her handle, I think. Yeah, I mean, she does such a good job of it. But like when where were those merch ones that I found? And we've got a bunch of different customers that do a great job. But when you could be like fun like this and have this awesome looking thing that is totally on brand, right? And you show it off, like, do you know how many additional customers she's going to acquire as a result of this? And everyone's going to be like, oh my gosh, that is so cute. I want to get a bunch of these. I can put my dog in here, and on and on and on. Like, just a huge deal. Just a huge deal. And if you don't have the sample, so you can't take this like incredible shot, like you're going to try to use mock-ups, like it doesn't work. You need to show me the real thing in the real place, right? Like, which is why I love this one. It's on brand. So, one of the things that I was saying, like a huge deal for us this year at Art Storefronts is teaching our customers how to do this and get better at this, right? And be able to do a better job of show and tell and get a better job on their socials. And step number 1 is actually having the thing in your hot little hand. It's very, very important that you do. And it's really, really hard to show a giant piece, You always work with what you have, but never underestimate how powerful the samples are. Just out of curiosity, throw me in the chat. If we made something like that available to people that were not customers, is that something that would help you out? Like, you could have the 5 main media types, you could have 3 merch types, all for like $240 or $50 or $60, whatever it is, to get shipped to your house. I don't know if that's something that people would find valuable or not. Does it make sense to be able to show all those things off without having a way to fulfill them, right? Because it's just let me explain it to you this way. I have been banging the drum for my customers to do this for like a long time, and where they get hung up is like, this is such a pain in the butt to even put the order in. I don't want to deal with it. And so our techs go in and they make sure your image looks perfect on all the various different things, and then boom, it goes through, right? So I might figure out some sort of way to put that like in a store or something. I'll ask. And again, like we're integrated with Bayphoto. Okay, Bayphoto on the West Coast is the printer that we use. There's another one called Graphic Dimensions on the East Coast, and so that's who the order goes through. It's like less about the reason that you would do it is because 1, our team knows which the best media types to use are. 2, all you do is you upload an image, and then the thing is done. All of it is on the way to your house. Boom, done. So I will ask them honestly, I appreciate you guys telling me yes. I will honestly ask about that and then get an item in the store. And, again, if it helps you out, awesome. If it gets you more fired up to do business with us, awesome. But more importantly, having that stack. Is anybody, just out of curiosity, and throw me in the chat if you are, is anybody on here a portrait photographer that does like portraits? It could be the Christmas cards, or it can be AYSO things, or that. Okay, Nicole is. I want to talk to Nicole. Nicole, I'm going to unmute you. If you can. I don't know if you can. Some people are like work. Can you talk for a sec?
I can, yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay, so this infuriates the hell out of me, Nicole, because you guys are great at booking gigs. You are great at stacking them up on like a Saturday. And I don't know if you're this kind of portrait photographer or not, but I think to like one of my best friend's wives is like our local one, right? And she does the Easter photos, and she does all the Christmas card photos, and she's got like one every season, and we all take our kids over there, and everybody comes in for 15 minutes. She knocks the shots out, boom, out, right? And what happens every time? My wife is up there with the kids, trying to wrangle the kids and get them all beautiful for the photo. And what am I doing? I'm sitting in the background going, get me out of here now, playing with my phone, going, I'm bored. Can I leave? And if you, Nicole, were this portrait photographer and you just had some sort of a table set up, I'm thinking of like this little grass field where she did the last one. We have this like grass field on like a bluff, whatever. Anyway, if you just had someone helping you, and on that table were the damn 5 media types, and you said to me, Patrick, here is what you can get these photos on. You can get them on photo paper. You can get them on canvas. You can get them on metal, acrylic, and wood. Here's what they look like. They're amazing gifts. So if you've got a birthday coming up or Christmas is coming up, just to let you know, I have all of them. Here is a special package that you can avail yourself of today if you like. And have the special package. Give me 3 for my wall and one that I can give to my mom or whatever. Do you know what your AOV, your average order value, would be, Nicole, if you just added that as a part of your service? No one wants to go. I don't want to go to Costco or anywhere else to figure out how to upload them or send them or do any of that damn stuff. I want you to tell me, done, it's in the mail, right? Here, put your credit card in. I will take care of it. I know what the best media types are. They're on your way to your house. Like, it's such an easy way to stop trading just dollars for hours and instead be able to increase the average order value of every single solitary session that you do. Do you think that would help you based on how I explain that?
I do. I agree with you. I'm not that type of portrait photographer. I do documentary and fine art. And my concern is like, basically I have it set up on my own. I'm not a customer, but I'm very curious about all that you guys are offering. Okay. I have it set up. I have prints offered 2 different sizes. I'm very conscious of like, overwhelming people. And that's where I think I would be overwhelming. Like I love fine art paper. I love metallic. I love wood. Yeah. I personally have a very specific Hahnemühle paper that I print on. Yep. So I get concerned that we're going to overwhelm the customer with, 8 different paper or media options, as opposed to them trusting me as an artist and the particular paper that I love, that I think my work looks best on. So that's my
for sure
thought about that.
Yeah, for sure. I see like a lot of that is the story of framing, right? Like our software shows frames online, right? Like, you can switch out frames and have it show on your image and everything else. Almost no one buys frames that way, period. It doesn't matter if you're talking about our software or someone else's, because the frame is like such a personal decision, right? The only time that frames really do sell online though is where the artist is like, this is my vision for how I love my work. This is the frame that it has. Trust me, it's the good one. Boom, order that one. So it works in that capacity. So I take your point, but the larger point is like overwhelm, not overwhelm. Like consumers are smarter than you give them credit for almost always. And a lot of times they love having a choice. And like people get super locked into what their favorite media type is. And I find just at a macro that a lot of times they leave money on the table because you're not like, well, here's, all the things that you can do on it. But I do take your point about how you're doing it too. There's no like one size fits all ever, right? Uh-oh, I think I lost Nicole. Or she muted again. But anyway, going back to like how I explained it, like my buddy's wife would be making a significantly larger amount of money on a yearly basis if she just started doing it. And she doesn't do it. She's like, here's your digital images. Go take them wherever. And it actually infuriates me because I want her to do well. Kimberly, go ahead.
So real quick, one of the things I always have a hard time with is, like you said, our brand or the feel that I want my things to, or how I want things to look. So when I think about print on demand, how do I feel confident that the product that's going to be going to the end to the client is going to be the way I want it to be, the quality I want it to be?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and that's one of my biggest concerns, is because, like, okay, if I know this company and I know that when it prints on acrylic, because I'm one of those people that you talked about, I'm like, I want acrylic, I don't want to do wood, so it's going to be a little hurdle for me to get past what you're saying.
Yeah, it is.
But that's
well, you don't, but you know, but that's the thing that I love too. And it's like, you know, I tell my customers, Kimberly, it's like, I don't care if you don't like the media type or not. The point is that I want you to be prepared to be the subject matter expert no matter what, right? And you'll find that just by having all of them, like, you open yourself up to so many other opportunities that will come. But the quality issues are not at all. Like, you know, we partner with some of the biggest print houses in the world. They have every media type imaginable. Like, you know, Nicole loves Haunted Mule. Fine, print on that Haunted Mule. They have it. So, and we know which ones are the best, and we can advise you. And after one sample comes through, you're done. You're dialed. You know, you'll have zero problems whatsoever. And if anything ever does go wrong in the slightest, you know, these print houses are so big and they do so much volume that they don't even care. They get a complaint like, my orange was not orange enough. Don't worry, we'll print another one. We'll send it right out. I'm sure it was on us, right? So you're totally covered. And a lot of it, you just have to get out of your own way there on some of that stuff. But I know that's not easy.
Right.
I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy. I know you guys like dwell on that, and like what's so crazy is you guys see things that, I mean, if you put your product in front of 100 different people, 99 out of 100 would not see what you see at all. They would not see what you see.
Right.
Right. Because your eyes are so critical. So yeah, I totally.
But I'm like, if I'm trying to do limited edition and, you know, you want to sign the product, things like that.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
How do you people?
That's not a problem either.
How to get shipped?
Yeah, we teach you. We teach you how to deal with that.
Okay.
You know, quickly. The customer is always the smartest, right? Some customers you'll find could care less if it was hand signed or if it was a digital signature or if it's signed at all. They just want the price, right? You might be able to establish the fact that it's a limited edition with a certificate of authenticity, which just goes inside the package. Some want it hand signed, and that's how they roll, right? In those cases, we encourage our customers to charge a little bit more because you're going to incur a cost where the print gets printed, it gets shipped to your house. When it comes to your house, you delicately unbox the thing, pull it out, sign it, date it, number it, do whatever you do, seal it back up in the same box, the same packaging, everything else, and then ship it off to them, right? So what we do is we have our customers charge additional for that, you know, right into bake it into the limited edition price, and so you're not stuck holding the bag on those. But we also find too that, like, a lot of times people could care less about the hand sign, and your customer will tell you what's important to them. So it's one of those things that you can handle that way. And so I would say. No worries, Nicole. I saw your message. My dog goes crazy sometimes too. Yeah, you're welcome, Kimberly. All right. What else, guys? Questions? While we're still here, while we're still rolling along. And I genuinely will try to figure out how to offer those sample packs so you guys can get them, because it's a big deal. It's a big deal, right? Like, you know, I always use that knife example, but the knife example is so important. It's like, if I hired you to sell knives door to door for me, when you knocked on the door, what would you have in your hands? Would you have photos of knives? Would you have room mock-ups of knives? Because if you did, you would have to be one hell of a salesman, right? Like, understand the products that you sell and be able to show them. And it's not easy if the only thing that you have is your product on like a 30 by 56 or whatever. I have one over here and I don't even want to pick it up because it makes my head hurt every time I do it. Go ahead, Mary. And you'll need to unmute, Mary. Just hit the mic icon. I'll let you know when you get it. Are you there?
There?
Yep, I got you.
Okay. On the merchandise,
Yes.
the pictures that you were showing, I didn't see any autographs? Is it important to have the autographs on the merchandise so they remember who they
No,
bought that art
no,
from?
no. It doesn't really matter to me. What I way prefer over the autograph is the QR code. The QR code's really, really important. And QR codes are like a thing now, right? Like it wasn't really a thing in the United States, and then COVID hit, and then all of a sudden we go back to the restaurants and everyone's asking like, hey, where's the menu? Where's the menu? And they're like, ooh, scan the table. You know, pretty much everyone has figured out how to do QR codes now. They've like finally come to the United States. And so we like to strongly encourage the QR code. And the QR code drives them back to the website. But, you know, by and large, the people that buy it, you know it's you. They're going to be looking at that thing all day long, and they're going to come back to you. And we see that play out again and again and again.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Yeah, it's like so fundamentally important to growing an art business, and so many people just gloss over it. So, yeah, very very important thing. But who else has questions while we're still going? I will email you a follow-up. Actually, don't even know if I have this presentation stored anywhere. I don't even think I have it stored anywhere. Oh, yeah, I got it on the, I have it on, I'm streaming this to YouTube or Facebook, so if you want to go back and watch it, you can certainly go back and watch it. Yeah, Kimberly is asking for pricing on plans, and so getting back to what I was saying earlier, we are a software company. We charge a monthly fee for our software company, and then we're also a university. We charge a one-time fee to get into the university. I believe, and don't hold me on the plans identically, but I believe that our most inexpensive plan at this juncture is like $1,500 or $1,600 or $1,700 down, something like that, and then $49 a month, I believe. But get that detail on a demo, and then they go up from there based on like years and everything else. And everyone's like, "What are you talking about? That's so expensive. That's crazy." All we care about is having successful customers. That's it. And we started out with just a website, and it was inexpensive. And you know what that got us? Nothing. A whole lot of unsuccessful customers because their problem was not a website. Their problem was learning how to market. Then we created the best education that exists on the planet and said, here, go study this education and get good at running Facebook ads and get good at email marketing, get good at running sales. And you know what that did? Nothing, because nobody wants to do all of that on their own and learn at their own pace. So then we started having in-person classes, and the in-person classes were good. Then the in-person classes went from in-person classes to occasional accountability to mild harassment, usually from me and other people on my team, where we scream at you, why the heck aren't you doing your marketing? What is going on? Why have you not showed up? Why are you not running that sale? No, your art doesn't suck. This is how it goes. It's difficult at first. So now we have to do all that support. In addition to that is all the normal support that you would think of, the phone calls, the tickets, the chats, the video recordings, and now we're doing portions of your marketing. We used to have customers build their websites on our platform. We don't even let you do that anymore because I don't want you learning HTML or CSS or web programming for dummies or searching forum posts because it's not you working on your marketing. Then we said, not only do they not going to build their websites, they're never going to touch their website ever. Meaning if you have to change something on your website or an edit or you need to install a new series or take something down, tell us. We will do it for you. Because again, it's not the best use of your time. All we care about is that we have successful customers. And so when you pay us, you pay an army of people to try and help you make you successful every single solitary day. More so and more so and more so. The presentations, the help, the support, the encouragement, the cajoling, the bribery, the harassment, all of the above. And that's what it takes. That's what it takes. And it never stops. And then, like, once you're in, it just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. And we're getting better and better and better at it. And the Copilot thing is like, now we're starting to do some portion of the social media marketing for our customers. Where does it all end? I don't know. Probably ends like right at the dividing line of like, are we going to start creating art for you? No, we're not. That's your problem, right? But that's who we are. That's what we do. It's why we're more expensive. But go and see the demo. Either put in the demo request on the site or come back to one of these sessions on Wednesday or Friday, and they'll walk you through all the bells and whistles and plans and everything else. And you guys can decide if it's the right thing for you. But regardless, I cannot begin to tell you how firmly I believe in the need to have a range of pricing, 0 to 100, 100 to 1,000, 1,000 plus, and that you need to have non-wall art as a part of the lineup. If you're not taking those two things seriously, whether you sign up with us or whether you don't, you're not taking your business seriously, in my estimation. You really aren't. Because the easiest customer to get, you guys, is the one that you already have. And if you're not acquiring them, they're distracted by that damn cat video, and you're never going to see them again. And those are just the rules of the world that we live in today. So it's like if you shore up that portion of your business, you will immediately realize like things start changing, you know. And that, going back to like my template, you know, like 2 customers a day on wall art alone, no one's doing that. So few people are doing that. It's crazy. But when you add in these other things, like you could do one show where you have some of the wall art, your big originals, your limited editions, your larger prints, you know, and then the merch. You're gonna, instead of acquiring 2 customers on like a show or fair that you did on a weekend, you're gonna acquire 30 or 40 or 50. It becomes totally possible, and then you start marketing, and then you're having sales. So how it goes. Appreciate all of you. I'll send you an email of the replay. Hope to see you on the inside or on a future summit or a future live show. Definitely subscribe to the podcast. It's anywhere you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, wherever. It's this ugly logo. I know. I'm working on it. I need to fix it. See, Valerie, I don't even care about my own logo here. I need to work on it. But it's really good. It's totally free. It has some of the latest and greatest. I did a super in-depth rant about how to get buyers to act fast, like this impulse buy tactic that I'm talking about that's possible with the merch, and then a rant about the new customers, and a rant about everything in there. It's good. You guys will enjoy it. But I appreciate you all. Great rest of your day, and thanks for spending some time with me today. Really appreciate it. Bye now.